I didn't want to really start that yet. Recording. There we go. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I have a little PowerPoint presentation, and I'm just going to go through that. We're going to talk about greeting cards, then we're going to talk about calendars and high note and see what questions you all might have as we move forward into 2025. Okay. So let's see if I can do the sharing thing. Let's see. Screen. Can you guys see my presentation?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hooray.
Good for you.
Okay.
Do you want to put it on slideshow, Louise, or no?
Let's see. How do I do that, Paul?
It might be. Just
It
go
would
up.
it be bigger if
Go
I
to the very top.
yeah.
And not the save one, that button that's lit at the very top left, but the one to the right of that. Looks like a movie screen theater thing. Screen. All the way up to the top in the red.
Yeah.
Yeah, over to the left a little bit.
Oh, slideshow. Okay.
Yeah,
Or that,
full,
or that.
full
Is that
screen.
better?
Full screen.
You know, you got to
Yeah.
hit from the beginning now.
From the beginning.
Yeah.
The left.
At the far left.
Okay. Is that better?
No,
No.
you didn't do anything. Louise, you didn't do anything.
Go to
I'm on
slideshow. Click. And then
Okay,
go
to
See the
slideshow.
left where it says from beginning?
From
You got to click on that.
beginning. Thank you.
There you go.
Okay, great.
Wow.
I
Yay.
appreciate that. Okay, so everything else now will be downhill. Greeting
Yeah.
cards. And you see, this shows just our three brands. So more and more, we're talking about the three very different brands that we have: RSVP, High Note, and Wicked Funny. So this is a little recap of 2024 and what we released. And I think it's worth just sharing quickly, because one thing that we always want to tell our retailers about our line is how much newness we create every year. And I mean, you know, we introduced 49 cards in the winter, 60 new cards for summer promotion, another 6 high note, and another 80 cards in the fall, which was a spectacular release. And that's like 200 cards. There's entire greeting card lines that don't have 200 cards. And that's what we created for new in 2024. So I just think that's a really significant message that you want to share as you prospect and you tell retailers about Sellers Publishing. And then here's what we have planned for 2025. So the first release early winter, January, February, is going to be 44 new designs in the RSVP, Wicked Funny part, and 6 new high notes. In spring, we'll add another 70, and fall planned for another 60. We've also introduced new seasonal signage, and that started with Christmas. So you've already seen that. But we'll be updating all the seasonal signage this year. And here's just a few of the artists that will be included in the 2025 introductions. So John Lund is a fabulous humorist who was always a top-selling artist for us when many of us were at Recycled, and we have worked with him, but we're doing more with him this year. So those cards, I'm sure, will be sensational. Just a few samples here you can see. Amy Smith. I love this alpaca or whatever it is. So cute. Jed Backlund. It's another artist new for 2025. Tawny Moore. Love the peacock one. Jonathan Miller, some very whimsical looking designs. Good for juvenile cards. And then a few designs that were focused on more Gen X, Gen Z, that kind of thing, and what's below Gen Z or X. I don't know. And whimsical focuses, which the whimsical cards continue to get better and better. Then for high note, with COVID and the supply chain issues, we've had a hard time managing our model line of 63 everyday high note designs, but we will be getting back to it in next year's releases. So you can see that with every day, we're going to add another 21 high note, which will bring us back up to our model line. And there are a few high notes introductions planned for seasonal that you can see right there. And this is the slide of some of the new high note, although, as we know, the two-dimensional doesn't really do it justice because you can't see all the special add-on things. We will be, the next time we do a print run on these, we will be sampling the salespeople because I think it's really important for you to be able to show retailers this product. You just can't tell how beautiful it is on a flat piece of paper. So a few updates from head.
Hey, Louise, can I interrupt about the greeting
Sure,
cards real
please.
quickly? I'm just,
You guys are welcome to interrupt anytime. And I should have said everybody's happy to enter.
well, I'm gonna ask you all a question in just a minute, so get ready. But if you have an RSVP email address, you're not allowed to answer. So what I just saw and what I'm aware of is that our greeting card content is rather eclectic. It's not a one look line like some other brands are. It's got a lot of different looks.
Mm-hmm.
I think Louise might have shown you art from 6 or 7 artists. How many artists do you think, freelance artists, do you think contribute content towards our current greeting card line? Anybody want to take a guess?
40.
How many?
40.
40? Okay. That's incorrect. Anybody else?
80.
That's also incorrect. Anybody else?
20.
I'll give you a hint. Those, you guys, Brad and Lily were both low.
150.
Wow.
Well, I want to end it by just saying you're halfway there. We have about 300
Wow.
different freelance artists or art studios that contribute content to make up our RSVP greeting card brand featuring High Note and Wicked Funny. What's really, let me say it a different way, in the way that I say it to retailers. Working with us is like working with 300 different companies, except you get the benefit of having our company help you manage the assortment through our card manager, our replenishment process, which you guys all do, and it saves you a lot of time from going out and finding 300 different card companies.
Mm-hmm.
So think about that as you're talking to retailers about how you can help them understand how we can help them really achieve their objectives in the greeting card category. That's it, Louise. Back to you.
Thank you.
I had no idea. Thank you. That's great.
So this slide just reviews some of our headquarters updates. As you all know, this time last year when we had our Zoom meeting, we were introducing that we were going to be changing our ERP system, which is the operating system for just about everything that goes on. Order entry, account updating, invoicing, commissions, everything. So we've gotten through the biggest issues around that. We still have a few little issues, like you all know that recently we've had this hiccup with extra email messages going out telling you that stuff is delivered or it's on the way, and it's another 2 hours on the way, and it's another 2 hours on the way. So we're working on that. So not all the details have been addressed, but the biggest things are working. And what that means for us, I think, is I'm hoping that 2025 is going to be the time when our sales organization now benefits from the new ERP system with some additional sales tools. We are right now working on a service frequency report that is much more accurate, and I think it'll be much more helpful than what we did a couple of years ago when we were doing the service frequency report. So starting in January, we will be sending that out every week. We're going to work towards giving you monthly accounting, account lists with sales on them so that you can really get better information about tracking your sales. We're going to start our work on a rep portal to be ordering via planograms and entering credits. We expect to start testing with a small group of reps on that soon. We'll be using the card manager portal. And there are some other companies like Blue Mountain and Pictura that use that. So any of you that carry those lines, you might be familiar with. We're going to be working with some kind of a system like that. And then, down the road, we want to also be able to retrieve for you to retrieve planograms from that, reorder via planogram, enter credits. And so we're going to get going with that. So I'm hoping that 2025 is going to be the year that the independent sales channel really sees the benefits of our new computer systems and so forth. So also, just for your information, so this year, as far as office opening, closing, we will be closed the 24th and the 25th and New Year's Day. And those are the only days that we won't be shipping. Other than that, we will be shipping. I will say that usually before holiday break, we typically let the office go at noon or so. So keep that in mind if anything is coming up that you need to address. Any questions on any of that? Or any questions on greeting cards? Anything about greeting cards?
Nope.
Okay. Oops. Okay. So this is the same slide you may remember from last year, but it's the same thing that we need to do this year, which is prospect. And I just wanted to share with you what I do when I prospect, which is that I'll go with the materials you see in my hand there, a display options catalog, which we've updated. When you get your materials in the next few days, you'll take a look at the display options brochure because we've updated it. We're going to include calendars in it, which I think is great. And then so I take that and I take a Wicked Funny folder and I take an RSVP rubber banded pack. And I'll go into a store, look around, decide that, yes, I do want to communicate with this retailer, because sometimes you go in and, it's kind of a junky looking convenience store. You might not want to put cards in, but if you think, and look for opportunities, maybe there's a rack of cards that's kind of selling out or looks like it hasn't been serviced by, a rep recently, that might be an opportunity. And then I just try to find out the name of the owner or the buyer and a phone number and email and leave my materials. And if I can accomplish all that, it's a successful cold call. Because then now I know who to follow up with. I've left materials for that person if I wasn't able to speak with them in person, and I can follow up and say, hey, I'm just following up on what materials I left. I'd love to meet with you, so forth. So also wanted to just remind you, there's the Purchasing Power Plus list on our rep resource page. That's a wonderful source of leads. There's also Ace Hardware's Do It Best. Ace Hardware, Do It Best, MDI, AWG, AG&E, Spartan Nash. We have bill-through programs with all those companies, which means you don't need to get a credit app for those people we're going to bill through Ace or bill through. MDI, AWG, AG&E, and Spartan Nash are all grocery wholesalers. They're not national, but some of you who are in the geographies that they operate know about them. Hallmark stores also are a great source of leads. And our Hallmark store queen is on our call, Peggy. Peggy, would you like to say a couple things about Hallmark stores and RSVP?
That I have the honor of servicing 16 Hallmark stores for a man that's based here near Pittsburgh in Butler, and he really has been, he's been a godsend, not just to me, but to everybody. And I've noticed when I go into the Hallmark stores, they're starting to look sad again. They're not, and this is what I do is I go in anywhere where I'm prospecting. I'll walk down their aisles and take a look at their runs and see how they're looking. And then I have an opening to start the presentation and say, gee, a Hallmark store and you don't have you're empty on sympathy and you don't have any get well cards. Well, we're waiting for them to come in. Well, I can service you with those. We have an excellent line of cards that can fill that niche for you. And I have over the last couple of years since this problem with Hallmark, I have had quite a few of the Hallmark stores come on board outside of this one, the Beatrice stores. I just love Mr. Beatrice. I just love him. I'm going to be servicing his stores the day before I'm cremated. I swear. So,
For you.
but
Yeah,
I do give him good service, but I do when I go into his stores, I notice what he needs, and that's in any store that I go into. If I see that there's a need for some cards, we certainly can fill any needs that they might be having,
right.
because we have such an extensive line, and the even the Highmark cards with their embellishment, we can fill in that papyrus niche for them. So
what Peggy does is in this chain that she's talking about, she's got a double tower or quad tower of Wicked Funny, because the amount of product and the quality of the product that's in shoebox is just not enough for the 200 feet of cards that a Hallmark store carries. So this particular retailer carries a standalone spinner of Wicked Funny with us, but also what Peggy's talking about is when we had the when Hallmark had issues with inventory, which seems to still be a little funky, but not as bad as it was a year and a half ago. Peggy had this owner sending us fill-in orders for his Hallmark sections, and so we probably sent him, I don't know, a couple $100,000 in cards.
Yeah, we did.
Which, we won't be duplicating that this year because now he's getting Hallmark supplied again. But that's just how much he counted on us. And I think so. If you have a Hallmark store, talk to him about Wicked Funny, and also about High Note and calendars and planners and all that, because they do great with
one other detail worth mentioning. They are one of the rare Hallmark situations where they carry seasonal with us also. And I was trying to figure out how they were getting 70% sell through, how they were displaying. This was a few years ago, Peggy.
Yeah.
And I remember going in during one of the seasons, and what most of the stores were doing was they're getting 70 to 75% sell through, but they're putting our cards in the worst possible part of the display on the very bottom. And it's still getting 70% sell through from a less than desirable positioning within those stores. So that's another possibility that Hallmark shops probably like the fact that we have moderate pricing compared to most of their line. So I'm in seasonal and everyday.
Yes, and another thing I wanted to mention is a lot of them, and a number of I think there was, I think Frank sent me a list of 7 stores this year that he's, we're in every one of his stores. Sellers is in every one. And he takes down shoebox to make room for Christmas cards. And so then he gave me a list of the stores that he wanted me to go in and double the order. I went in and order double. They don't necessarily fill them into the pockets because it kind of crowds them. But we
Yeah.
just made a little space underneath the runs. Those things pull out, and we put the cards there so that as needed, they would be able to fill in. And
Make sure our spinner's filled when they don't have
exactly,
box available.
exactly. Because I can't get around to all of them.
Yeah.
But and then he's so nice at the end of the season. If there's cards that are not selling,
Mhm.
that haven't sold in one store, he has a gal that goes around. Her name's Rhonda, and she'll take them and she'll put them in another store. So
Mhm.
we're not taking a hit. We're not having to credit them out because it's like an over. So
Well,
Hallmark stores they used to be like sacred, and they're not anymore. They're very approachable, and they're glad to
Mhm.
get cards.
I think they've had a rude awakening this last couple of years.
I think so too.
If you haven't tried calling on Hallmark stores in 4 years or something, give it another try, because like Peggy says, their mindset may be a lot different now than it was a couple of years ago. Okay, so moving on.
Hey, Louise, before you go
Networking
on,
is
can I ask another question
Sure.
about prospecting, or what you refer to as cold calls? Does anybody really enjoy doing them?
No.
Yeah, I do.
I do.
I
Do
like
you?
cold calling.
I hate it.
Ain't it?
I've been doing this for 43 years, and I continue to hate cold calls. I think they're threatening, they're scary, and it makes every time I go and do it, though, I've got to overcome my fear. Because if
Yep.
I don't, and by the way, I think that most people who say they like them, I'm not so sure you're telling me the whole truth, but I'll take
Are you
take a little
calling
swing.
us liars?
I didn't say that. I'm just
I'm a
saying,
cold call
Yes, you did.
queen.
Anyway, well, I didn't
I'll
come out and
talk
say
to
it with
anybody.
those words. Let me go on and explain what I do to make me feel not threatened by a cold call. First thing I do is I don't call it a cold call. I call it a new business call, and I realize that if I don't do it, I'm gonna suppress my full income potential, because if I don't keep adding prospects into my funnel, I'm not going to have enough orders to be able to drive the income that I want to drive. So that forces me to want to do new business calls for those of you who don't like doing them, which I possibly might be the majority. So you've
I'm
got,
sure it's the majority of us, Mark.
so you've got to really focus on it. And the other thing that I do, and maybe this will help some of you, is I've set these expectations for myself. So if you're doing a what I call a new business call, what do you want to achieve out of that new business call? Like, let's call it the number one thing you'd like to achieve out of a new business call. Anybody?
Talk to the buyer, get in front of the buyer.
Yep.
Mhm.
That would be a great outcome.
Perfect.
So sometimes when I ask that question, people tell me to get an order, and I would tell you that in all the decades I've been selling greeting cards, I can count on one hand the number of times I got an order out of a new business call. So my maximum expectation is really just to get an appointment.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get a future meeting on the books,
Mhm.
so I can come back and have a real conversation with the right person. The other thing, the least thing I want to accomplish, I'll call my minimum expectation out of that new business call, is I want to be sure I get the right contact information.
Mhm.
So whoever the buyer is or whoever the owner is, I want to make sure I leave that store with that information. So now when I do a new business call, I'm thinking, okay, at the very least, let me find out the contact information of the person most responsible for doing the buying for the categories that I have for that store. And the best outcome would be if I can get an appointment with that person. So that now lowers my feeling like I got to walk in and get an order or I'm in big trouble. I don't think about that. I kind of, in a way, lower my expectations a little bit.
Mhm.
And that tends to make me more successful in doing these new business calls. And anyway, if that helps some of you, I'd be grateful to have done that, and wish you all the luck on these new business calls, because without them, none of us will be successful. Back to you, Louise.
Welcome. Thank you. Okay, so just as a reminder, this is the paperwork you need to open a new account. So we want a credit app, a planogram request form or an incentive form, and we're going to talk about the incentive that's coming up, and a seasonal plan if they're going to do seasonal cards. Those three things. And if it is a store that has a bill through program with us, which was on the slide before, so Ace Hardware, Do It Best, and all those grocery wholesalers that we listed, you don't need a credit app because we're going to bill through Ace or whatever. But otherwise, you need these forms. They are all on the rep resource page, and you can see that little pink box up at the top right-hand corner. There's your address for the rep resource page, and the password is make fun. There's a lot of stuff on the rep resource page, catalogs that you can email links to customers, pictures of fixtures and so forth. So be sure and utilize that tool. Okay, and so here is the incentive we're going to be doing for January. It's the tried and true one that we've done in the past, so you will be no stranger to it. So if we have a store where we can use an existing fixture, they can get 50% off their opening order. You don't have to do the discount. If you don't need to do the 50% off, please don't. We'll all make more money. You may if you need to, and this will run through the end of March. Or if they do need a fixture, if they need a spinner from us, then it's 25% off the opening order with the fixture agreement, which is part of the form. So you are all going to be getting in the next couple of days, either right before or right after Christmas, depending on the delivery services, a box of materials, and it's going to include some of these forms for the incentive, and you'll have that. And if you need more, these will be posted on the rep resource page, and you can print off some more. Okay. Any questions about any of that?
Nope.
Righty. And so use your promo code R25 or R50, and that will help customer service know what program you're wanting. So this page just will share with you what is coming in your mailing that we've sent out. All reps are going to get a sample of every kind of calendar style. And then reps that have a larger number of accounts will get some extra leave behinds and things like that. So you will find these in the materials that are coming to you in the next couple of days. Okay. So I'm going to move on to calendars. Does anybody have any?
Louise,
Yeah.
one quick thing.
Please.
I think most of the people on the call know my job now is mostly with the seasonal line and helping out with that program, and that's occupying 75 or 80% at least of my time now. And the one thing that would help me a lot, I thought I would mention it, is at least in the short term, if you can, when you submit seasonal credits, if you could copy me. I know Brad's on this call. Brad and Lori have been doing that for probably 18 months. But if you can copy me on seasonal credits, it will help us in the short to medium term until we get all the bugs worked out in our seasonal program, which we're working on. So I just wanted to mention that.
Thanks, Scott. Okay, talking calendars now. So on the slides that are coming up, I don't have the whole line on here because I didn't want to make it a 100-page presentation. But we have lots and lots of calendars, and you will get a catalog in the materials we're sending. I do want to say, even before we go through all these slides, that there, and you've seen it in the constant contact messages I've sent, we post printing the catalog, unfortunately, we determined that we needed to change the pricing on most of the formats. So the catalog pricing is not going to be right. we are going to include in any catalogs that we send out, and I think we included in the mailing we sent to you, a note about the price differences. You'll want to be sure if you leave a catalog with any retailer that you've given them a new price list, okay? Because what's in the catalog is not the right pricing. So the wall calendars are going to go to $17.99. What you see on the screen here are the new images. And of course we have, I mean, all the calendars have new images, but you know, we have some titles that are best-selling titles like Catnaps and Dogma and Poop Puppies and, you know, those kind of things. So same favorite titles with all new content, of course, every year. Okay, so that was wall calendars. Box dailies, you'll see the new titles here are going to be $18.99. Wall calendar planners, $17.99. The pocket planners are going to $7.99. Mini calendars, $9.99. And the weekly engagement calendars or weekly planners, $17.99. So all those prices have kind of gone up $1. And I don't really think anybody's going to be surprised about that because, you know, the whole thing with the tariffs and all of that, you know, all companies print their calendars in China. And, you know, there's a little bit of an unknown right now about what some costs may end up being there. So this sheet just is a little more comprehensive about the MSRP and the cost on calendars.
Louise, can I just add a little housekeeping?
Sure.
All of your mailings left, just about every one of them left yesterday, excuse me.
Thank you.
The rest will be out today. We did, as Louise said, include a little insert that said the pricing will be updated. We did tear out the insert on all the core catalogs. So you don't have them.
You mean the order form in the middle?
I'm sorry, that's what I mean. The order form that's
Okay.
been stitched in.
Got it.
And we did not send out one for High Note. Those are being reprinted. I believe one of the two of them are already here. The others will be here momentarily. As soon as we get them, we will send you an equal amount of order forms as catalogs that you receive. So we're hoping to get them out. You know, you'll have them hopefully before the end of the week after the new year.
Okay.
So just letting you know. And I believe that they've been posted to the rep resource page. I believe the new catalog pricing has the new order form.
Yes.
So just a little housekeeping there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, and the catalog, both the High Note and the core line catalogs that are on the rep resource page. So if you were going to send a link to our catalog to a retailer, those catalogs have been updated with the pricing. So it may even be better to send them a link than to give them a physical catalog, because on the link, the prices have been corrected. Okay. Okay, so then just so you know, in terms of payment terms and so forth, this slide kind of goes over it. So we can, if you need to do free freight on a big calendar order, please call me. It's probably something that we can do. We typically are doing returns after a retailer has done a half price sale. If they have calendars left. If you do a calendar return, it needs to be by title, not just wall calendars, 10 left. They need it by title because we issue the credit back to that artist. So we got to know which calendars. You know, our selling period would be the middle of August when we start shipping through March. And the grocery, you can see that if you have a grocery store that's a new one, it'd probably be a good idea for you to call me and we can talk about what they need. Typically in grocery, we are retailing the calendars at a little bit lower retail, and the stores take less of a margin, and that's typical for grocery. So I'm happy to help you with any situation you have with grocery, and our calendars do very, very well in grocery stores. So here's just a few display options that we have. This little boutique planner one, and then we gave you some information about what will fit in that particular display, because you can use it in a variety of ways. So you can see all those ways that what you can include in it. You could do 3 soft cover high note planners in it. You can do 3 weekly planners in it, or you can do 3 box daily planners, and it tells you the quantities and so forth.
Or do you know?
Sorry? Was somebody talking? No? Okay. And then there's another one down below. This is showing you can take 2 minis and 2 pocket planners and what the pricing is. And going on. Here is our, oops, yeah, okay. Here's our spinner. So we did this spinner last year. It was terrifically successful. I love that it can hold not only wall calendars, but also some minis, 6 minis and 6 pocket planners. It's great to be able to get different kinds of product on this spinner. And all of this pricing, by the way, has been corrected for the new prices. So, and then we also have the corrugate. Now, there's plenty of stores that don't need any kind of display, and that's fine. You know, the Hallmark stores, for example, if you're selling them calendars, pocket planners, high note planners, they probably are just going to display it on their shelving. Same thing with hospital gift shops with high note planners. They typically are putting it on a table or something. But should you need the displays, you have them. And again, here, so on the left-hand side, you can see the box daily display that we have the corrugate. I love, so we have a new high note spinner, and I think it's just great. It actually takes up less space than that corrugate did. And holds much more product. So it's a wonderful, wonderful display. And a lot of stores are very excited about it. I think Scott mentioned that there's going to be several of you have Kimba stores that you service. Many of the Kimbas, not all, but many of them are going to be taking this spinner.
Oh.
Yeah, they prefer a permanent spinner to the corrugate that we had. And they especially like the fact that it's more compact. I've sent it to them twice so they make sure they see it. And this will, when we get to it in the high note part of the presentation, will also accommodate the new planner format we're bringing out. So it's going to include all 3, which is really a fantastic.
It can hold all
display.
the design, all the product, which is great. Okay, and then the last thing on the right-hand side here is the pocket planner display. You should have this in every hospital gift shop. It sells like crazy in hospital gift shops. So please keep that in mind. I have some salespeople that just email out a little order form and collect them back in of this pocket planner.
Well, and Louise,
or somebody that, if you have people you know pretty well, you might even send them a picture and say, just wanted you to know I'm sending this in. It'll ship in August 15th.
Yeah, there's that. And then the high note planners have been tremendously successful in hospital gift shops as well. There's one I sold years ago in Oklahoma that reorders every year. And this year the rep told me, well, they had two full orders and they completely sold out before December 1st.
Yeah, we very rarely issue any credits for high note. And
without a display, just like Louise said,
without a display,
they boutique the product.
Right.
They didn't need a display.
Yeah, I'm going to just show you this last slide on the core. Again, just repeating all the fixtures, and it kind of, this slide kind of displays to you the variety, you know, and there's a listing there. It says pop culture, nature, fantasy, pets. So the line touches on every topic and is very comprehensive. So it's worth talking to everybody about wall calendars and pocket planners and high note planners, hardcover and softcover.
Hey, Louise, me again to butt in, if I may.
Please butt in. Go ahead, Mark.
One thing on calendars that has helped me real well over the last 5 years since I've been at Sellers is our competitive advantage when I talk to major retailers about why our calendars are different from all the other publishers out there. And that the single most thing that really resonates is the fact that our calendars are mostly created by freelance artists as well, just like our greeting cards. Our high note planners are also created by freelance artists.
Mhm.
Most other calendar publishers use what we call stock imagery. That's photos that they get from Getty or Shutterstock. It's less expensive to do that. It's less expensive to buy stock imagery. It's a little more expensive to go out and find freelance artists and buy content from them year after year. But that's what we do. And by doing that, you look at our titles. Look at Songbirds down there, bottom on the bottom, second from the
Mhm.
right.
That's a great
It's
one.
a red bird on red berries. The photography is just really smashing. There's a heavy ink saturation of it. When I compare that calendar to every other publisher, and every single other publisher has a Songbird calendar, uh, ours just stands out when you do that face-to-face comparison next to each other. And
Mhm.
retail buyers really understand that. And more importantly, shoppers get it. So the
Mhm.
idea that you to use our competitive advantage, our being our creative engine, being the use of freelance artists, photography, and art instead of a heavy reliance on stock imagery, seems to have served me real well. And perhaps it's
Mhm.
something you can take advantage of as well.
Thank you, Mark. That's a great suggestion.
Yeah, that's good information on that one.
Okay, so moving on to our high note planners. Here are the images for our deluxe hardcover planner, and this planner is going to stay at our current retail of $29.99. So, you know, there's a couple titles here that will recognize, Greenery and Garden Bee. We've had those in the line. They continue to be the best sellers. Just Phoenix also. But I love the imagery that has been created this year. I love Greenery, and I love that little pink flower in there, and they're just beautiful. And I encourage you right now, while you're out holiday shopping, go into Barnes and Noble or another store that has a large selection of big fancy planners with lots of, you know, accoutrements to it, and look and see what the pricing is, because these planners that are like Kate Spade and Rifle and stuff, they're upwards of $40.
Wow.
And you know, ours is actually got more interesting color insides and different dividers for every month and all of that at a much more reasonable price. And I think it's worth calling out the difference between you know, if people are buying, if a retailer is buying planners from other sources, they're going to see that our quality is superior and our price is great.
You know, one thing that I've noticed about our deluxe hardcover planners, actually all of our planners, that the other guys don't seem to do. I don't know, Louise, you're going to show a picture of the interior?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll wait.
Yeah,
There you go. Every one of our planners has color or art on every single page throughout the entire interior of the planner that coordinates to the front cover.
Mhm.
When you open up somebody else's planner, more than likely you're going to just see a black and white look. It's very utilitarian, where we bring fashion. So in essence, we've got a highly functional, well-formatted planner with the added element of fashion at, as Louise mentioned, a really great retail price point.
Mhm.
So those are some of the words that I use when I'm talking about our planners, and I'd encourage you to do that as well.
So this is the slide for the soft cover planners, which are going to be $17.99. So that has gone up $1.
On the belly, excuse me, Louise, just something I should add too, on the belly band that's on all of these planners. So look at your samples when you get them. There's actually a blurb about the artist.
Oh, great. I didn't know that. Okay. On the soft cover planners, Mark, or?
All of them. You know, all of the high note. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. Anyway, so Greenery and Garden Bee, of course, I love the Garden Bee. It's a little bit different, but I think that's really beautiful art. And the Just Phoenix is so cool and retro looking. So great. Again, and I'm so glad that the new spinner holds all these and we don't have to pick and choose.
Well, and Garden B has had the same artist for a number of years, and now we have a new artist for
Yeah,
Garden B.
new
So
artist, right.
it's a very subtle difference, but
Mhm.
it really is has been updated nicely.
Yeah. I'm just noticing too, and I know Shireen is on this call, so I'm noticing Jess Phoenix is a Seattle-based artist, so we should let Karen know that, and maybe she can make hay out of that somehow in Seattle. And so here again is a great example of a wonderful interior and how every month the pages are different. So this slide is for monthly planners. So this is a new format for us in HighNote. And I'm really excited about it because it's the one I use. So I've been telling people on the calls, I have to go buy somebody else's planner instead of Sellers because I like this monthly, you see the whole month at a glance planner. And now we have it. Yay. And note the size. So you're not going to have a sample of this planner in your materials, obviously, because we haven't manufactured it yet. So I do think it's really important that you call out the size. It's 7 3/4 and by 9 3/4, which is a great size because in my world, that still will fit in my purse, and I like that. So four designs, and again, these all fit on that spinner that we looked at.
So it's bigger than the soft cover planner, right? And smaller than the hardcover planner.
That's right. That's right.
And but at a $13.99 recommended retail price.
Right.
So
which is a great price. So this will be the least expensive of the HighNote products, of the HighNote planner products. And here you see the interior. So again, every month is going to have a full color interior like this.
All of these planners are 17-month planners, so they start in August and run through the following December.
Right.
So that means there's really two peak selling periods, which retailers seem to really like. The one is obviously back to school, and then it slows down a little bit in end of October, November, but then right after Thanksgiving, it picks up again for the holidays because people realize the calendar's about to flip, and they need to get a planner or they want to give it as a gift.
Yeah.
So it really has two really big selling periods, back to school and holiday.
So so that's it for HighNote planners. Does anybody have any questions about any of that?
Is the ship date June or May, or is there any clarification on
I
the
think
20
July 1st, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
Paul,
we're gonna have we'll have them right now. The plan is to have them to be able to ship in June.
Okay. Okay, and lastly, I just wanted to touch on the undated stationery. I will let you know that any presentation I have done where I've gone through the HighNote products, I always add these materials at the end, and everybody orders them when you show them. So please do. It includes these stickers that you see that coordinate with our HighNote planners. But by the way, the deluxe planners do have some stickers with them, but you can get these additional ones and just to enhance the selection. Our list pads, you can see there's some that match some of our, Garden Bee and greenery. And then the personal planning notebooks. So these have a space to write in the date. So they're great if you want to journal, but maybe not like every day kind of a thing or something like that. So, and these are $12.99. So I just encourage you when you're talking about HighNote planners to include a conversation about these other products because it's been my experience that people jump in and order them. Also the journals, which have done very well where they've been placed. This is another good product for hospital gift shops. We have placed them in some hospital gift shops and had good sell-through on them. And then the 3-pack notebooks come with a belly band. So, and they're $14.99 for the entire package. But I do know that we do have a lot of retailers that just get these and they open them up and sell them for $5 each. And then they can have a little bit more of a selection for people. So that's an option. And that's it. Who's got any questions at all for me or Mark or Scott or Paul? Any
Louise,
questions?
it's Peggy. Can you hear me?
I can.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know if you could, I can't, I still have that. I can't see you. I wanted to show you something that I do. I purchased from Sellers, one of the soft cover, planner.
Yeah.
And I take it to, can you see me?
Yeah, we can see you.
Yes.
Okay, I can't see you. I still have that thing up. And
Oh,
so,
here.
If you take off the.
Yeah, I'm going to stop
there you
sharing.
go.
There we go.
Okay.
All right.
So here it is. And so I take it to Kinko's, and I have this spiral. I have that they cut off the spine, put the spiral bound thing on, and then it'll open up flat so that
I see. Okay.
and I put my
Hold it
on
up
my
a little
calendar.
bit, Peggy. Hold it up. Hold it up. Hold it up a little bit. A little more. There you go. Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
So I have
Okay.
my whole month.
That's how
on
you
there.
use it. Great.
And then
Good
I
idea.
take it, and then each day, every order, there you go. And then I
Beautiful.
have room for every day to write down orders.
Okay.
So it's just something that I do. It makes it very, very, it opens smaller,
Yeah.
but it is big enough.
Right. It's
So-
nice to have a spiral bound. There are a lot of engagement items that have the engagement or weekly planners also have there's some spiral bounds.
Yeah. But this
So-
soft cover doesn't come, and then I have
Right.
room for a pen on the side. I'm
Yeah.
just saying that's
Okay. Great.
what
Thanks.
I do.
Anyway, so that's all I have for today. And I
Okay.
just want to say thank you all so much for all you do for us every day. And I wish you all wonderful holidays and here's to a great 2025. Please call me or Scott if there's anything at all we can ever help you with. We'd be more than happy to do it. Okay.
Louise, make sure you look at the chat room in here. There's a couple of
I didn't
comments.
look at chat. Okay, hold on. Before I let you go, I'm going to look at chat. Thanks, Paul. I never look at the chat.
Brad sent some suggestion I saw earlier, but
Okay. Well, Brad's talking about credits. My personal opinion is the ultimate solution to making sure we don't lose track of your credits is eventually to let you guys put them in. But we will do that, Brad. And that's the only comment I really see that. Okay. Thank you all for that. And again, so have a wonderful holiday with your families, and we'll look forward to 2025 with you all. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I have
Thank you.
one question.
Thank you, everybody.
one more question.
One
There's
more
another
question.
question.
I have a reorder for calendars, so do they just get the old price?
Well, if they're
This year's
reordering,
calendar, yeah.
they're reordering 2025 calendars, it'll be this current price, not the new
Okay.
price.
Okay.
Because you're reordering what we're shipping now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And thanks for that reorder.
Thanks for the
Yeah.
reorder. Yep.
Definitely.
Okay. Take care,
Thank you.
everybody. Thank you
care,
so much
everybody.
for your time today.
Merry
Nice
Christmas.
chatting with all of you.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.